which was really cool. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, I'm an editor of 2 literary magazines, and for the past few months I've been having books out, and these come out as Kuypers Down at Amazon.com, ISBN Books. And on June 1st, beginning of this month, Down in the Dirt magazine released The Painting, which is named after one of the pieces that were in it, and it's actually a painting of someone who had passed away, and this was found rolled up in their pantry, and so I grabbed it and uncurled it, and I had this framed in my house, so I was like, I guess the painting would be an appropriate thing. What do you need? What did you do?
It turned itself around.
Oh, see that little button that has a camera that turns itself around? You turn it back.
Thank you. 16th century Tom.
Yeah, 16th century Tom. So I thought I would read a few things from here. As I've explained to Tom sometimes before, as the editor, I would get pieces of prose. And as you can see from this open spread, hey, I've just got a little bit of space at the end of a story. It's not enough for a piece of artwork, you know. So we cram in a little haiku, something really tiny that'll fit in the space. So that's why I'm going to have some short ones in there. This first one is, and they usually relate to the story beforehand. So this one is called Oil. Flowers on the water broke the oil seeping up from the submarine grave. From the World War II memorial. I'm sure that was my poor time.
I technology.
You know what you can always do, Tom?
What?
You can turn the right button and turn it off, and then turn it on and start the camera on. You can start from scratch, because he doesn't.
He's doing it for me.
I don't know what he's doing.
He knows things.
This one seemed appropriate for learning about things on other parts of the world by looking at remote parts of the world. This is a short one in response to a story in here about being on outer space. So it's called Hunting for Life. And it's even got a Mars rover, a picture from NASA on the cover. Not a picture. If you're looking to hunt for aliens, start studying a rover in Antarctica. NASA's got its sights on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, who bows and flexes from the tugs and pull of its massive planet's gravitational pull. Because, you see, these science types think that there's a giant ocean under all of Europa's ice. And what we've learned is that where there's water, there's often life. But with these elements, in these temperatures, if you're looking for life, you never know what you might really find. This poor man doesn't know what to do with the camera.
I think I've got it. Ha ha.
Okay.
You say.
As long as you got somebody else to help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
This is another haiku at the end of this called Knowing. It seems like it's about death. That's why I just read it like, ooh. Fallen to my knees, I can feel my chest cave in, knowing it's my time.
Okay.
About the life and death thing. So now I'm going to find some fun ones about violations that are in the back of the book. This one I think is really a fun one, called Violations Tested. While driving to meet someone who had so little time off for lunch, was running late, still a few miles down the stretch of 120 to their office. So, although the sign said 30, I went 55, following a cop speeding down the road. So after about a mile, that copper turned on his lights and signaled me over. And he walked over to my Saturn, and he asked me if he knew how fast I was going. And I replied, saying, I don't know. I was just following you, sir. And I waited. Because if he wrote me a ticket, then he'd have a record that he was speeding while not in pursuit. If he wrote me a ticket, his faults would be found, and all cops want to think that they're invincible. So the cop finally spoke to me after looking at me for more than a moment. And he said, watch what you're doing and watch your speed in the future. That's all he said. And me, very subserviently, said, yes, sir. And I, a little more slower, went on my way. You see those moments and you're like, what do you do? You're following a cop, you think you're safe. What do you do? This last one is called Violations in the Name of Love. The last one in the book. A long time ago, a longtime friend was engaged to the man of her dreams. But she violated their truth when she started sleeping with a coworker. She told me, I love this guy, but everyone loves my once fiancé. I told her, well, I told her I hope it works out. And apparently it did. Her longtime love forgave her. The wedding was on again. She even asked me to be a bridesmaid, but that's when everything started going so wrong. I'd respond to her every email, and even though I tried to appease, she'd be enraged at me because I believed in truth. So, well, according to her, apparently honesty is not what friends are for. When I saw that there was no way this friend could either be moral or honest to her friends, to the man she'd marry, or even to herself, that's when I ended the friendship. Oh, we were no longer friends, but because of our past, she invited me to her wedding. I didn't go to the church. For her lack of morality, a church seemed a bit ironic. But then I went to her reception.
Michael, we have your operator.
Michael's got his operator. But I went to the reception on February 10th. And like everyone else, I was complimenting the bride excessively. And then they played country music, which really is not my style. So even though there was snow outside the reception hall doors, we went outside to dance with my love in the snow when the music might then be more muted. A minute or two after dancing in the snow, an old man walked outside and asked to cut in. My love smiled, and I was touched that a stranger saw us from the hall and joined us in the snow for a dance. In the name of love, these two once lovebirds chose a wedding day so close to Valentine's Day. But 3 different men bearing that name were all martyred centuries before that date ever meant love. I suppose it makes me smile knowing that my parents were married February 18th, right around Valentine's Day. But I should remember that Valentine's Day before my dad was born was the Valentine's Day...
Leonardo, you're off the site.
The Valentine's Day before my dad was born was the Valentine's Day massacre, with Al Capone in my hometown killing 7 guys from the other side. Because sometimes Valentine's Day isn't pretty, and even though my once friend married near this date, this was only another sign to me that their marriage would never last. Years later, I hear from another woman who remained her bridesmaid that she's divorced now. She should have known that violations in the name of love would never lead to happiness. Violations of that nature, no matter your implied intentions, they will never set you free where true love is meant to be. So if you know anything about Down in the Dirt, dirt at Scars.tv or Scars.tv/dirt, and you can find out and want to submit any writing to that or to the other magazines.
Thank you, some of the work.
Thank you.